only be called on if you are properly identified. Thank you. Welcome to the NCAA March Madness post-game press conference featuring West Virginia. We will be hearing from Miles McBride first, followed by Coach Bob Huggins. We'll be getting started in a few minutes. Please check your settings to be sure you are identified by name and affiliation. You will only be called on if you are properly identified. Thank you. Welcome to the NCAA March Madness post-game press conference featuring West Virginia. We will hear from Miles McBride first, followed by Coach Bob Huggins. We'll be getting started momentarily. Please check your settings to be sure you are identified by name and affiliation. You will only be called on if you are properly identified. Thank you. Welcome to the NCAA March Madness post-game press conference featuring West Virginia. We'll be hearing from Miles McBride first, followed by Coach Bob Huggins. We will get started in a few minutes. Please check your settings to be sure you are identified by name and affiliation. You will only be called on if you are properly identified. Thank you. All right, thank you for participating today. We are joined by Miles McBride, and we'll begin the press conference. Use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please state your name and your affiliation first, just because they can't see you. So we're going to start. Greg Hunter, you have the first question.
So, Deuce, first of all, this is Greg Hunter with the Blue and Gold News. Have you ever had a 6-point possession? And I mean, that was a key moment with buckets and foul shots and all that. You guys were up 4 at that point, and all of a sudden you never were really challenged after that.
No, I don't think I've ever done anything like that. But, just in the moment, playing the game, trying to stay one step ahead of the defense and the other team.
All right, our next question comes from Kevin Kinder.
Kevin Kinder from the Blue and Gold News. Deuce, looked like the game plan was really to try to get up in the lanes, pressure them a lot. They had suffered some turnovers. How well do you think you executed that throughout the game? Was that the biggest difference for you?
Yeah, definitely wanted to make them feel uncomfortable and try to jump out, which we did. But, then, we let it slip away and kind of, let them back into the game. And, when they're a good team, give a lot of credit to them. When they got a rhythm going, they're hard to stop. But, it's just about us, applying more pressure and, again, getting up in those lanes and making everything hard for them.
Our next question comes from Justin Jackson.
Hey, Deuce. Justin Jackson with the Dominion Post here at Morgantown. Just kind of wondering, Derek had a frustrating first half, but he obviously came alive in the second half. How much does that help, what you guys are doing out on the perimeter when he's doing what he's doing on the inside?
Yeah, it obviously helps a ton when you have a guy like Derek that's able to, one, create his own shot, and two, go rebound a missed shot. It really makes the defense suck in, which makes our job a lot easier. So give a lot of credit to Derek and him doing his job. He had a rough first half, but obviously, we're going to keep, staying positive, and he's going to keep at it.
Next, we'll be having Adam Rittenberg.
Adam Rittenberg with ESPN. Miles, Coach Huggins got his 900th career win. What does it mean to you to be part of that, and where do you think that falls in the history of the sport of college basketball?
It means definitely a lot. Him being, really the first and only, major coach, major D1 school to offer me, thinking back to that time, he really showed a lot of loyalty and a lot of trust that I was going to come back, and be a great player. And, being able to be here for him to get that 900 win, it means a lot. So I'm really happy we got it done today.
All right, Cody Nespor.
Cody Nesper, West Virginia Sports Now. Deuce, just, after everything that happened last year and everything you've done this year, just what has tonight meant for you, scoring 30 points in your first ever March Madness game?
It's great to, put numbers up on the board, but at the end of the day, I'm just about winning, getting a W in the column, and, next game it's about being 1-0 again. So it's great that I did great. Again, my teammates, give a lot of credit to them for stepping up, and a lot of guys played well tonight. So anytime we can get in the W column, it's a big-time night.
All right, our next question comes from Ethan Bach.
Ethan Bach with Blue Gold Sports. Deuce, you guys had to wait a good 30 minutes after the Purdue North Texas game going to overtime. Were you guys anxious at all waiting for that end of the game? Because I remember you bringing up how it's like an AAU tournament. So I just want to get your thought on that.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, just, being around March Madness games, for the first time. This was really the first March Madness game, obviously I've been to, and just being able to be on the other side watching that game, you really feel the energy. Guys get a little jittery and come out a lot more energy. So, it was just a great atmosphere to be in. I'm glad that, our fans showed up and showed out tonight.
Our next question comes from Michael.
This is Mike Casaza from 24/7 Sports. Deuce, long day today. You said you were going to watch basketball. It was pretty eventful. Just watching games, did that prepare you or your team for all the stuff that you encountered during the game today?
Yeah, definitely. It would have been nice to have a, earlier start, but, watching all those games today, it's always fun. I'm still a basketball fan. My teammates are, obviously. So just watching those games too, and, learning what to do and what not to do. It's always fun to watch those, but, just waiting around for our game, you start to feel the energy again, feel anxious that, it's March, and this is what every kid dreams about, is being in this moment at this time.
All right, our next question comes from Gregory Carey.
Greg Carey, West Virginia Metro News. Deuce, obviously you weren't around here when West Virginia was in the Big East, but what does a second-round matchup with Syracuse mean to you? And obviously what kind of defense you guys are going to be up against.
Yeah, obviously everybody knows about their 2-3 zone. Obviously they have a great team. They beat a good San Diego State team, so we're going to have to, think about this win tonight, get over it, and tomorrow start prepping for them.
All right, and our next question comes from Justin Jackson.
Hey, Deuce, I wanted to ask about Jalen. Obviously he's a freshman, and obviously, this was your first time in an NCAA game, but he's a freshman kind of stepping into this. What did he give you tonight? And was it surprising at all that he's a first-year guy, kind of enjoying the moment that he had tonight?
Yeah, it's been really great to be able to grow with Jalen, see his growth and maturity throughout, his 2 years here. Obviously, I've seen a lot of things he can do in practice, so I just try to stay encouraging him and reminding him, to bring more confidence and, be more of an attacker, because obviously we saw tonight when he's attacking and he's confident, he can be really hard to stop.
All right. I will remind you to please use the raise hand function if you have any other questions. In the meantime, could you talk to us about what it just means to you this year to be able to play after a whole year of sports being gone and not being able to compete at all?
Yeah, honestly, being so close to being in the tournament last year for the first time and then having it taken away, I think it hurt everybody, so I think it's our duty to play for those guys that didn't get a chance to play last year, the seniors like, Jermaine, Haley, Logan Rowell, and Chase Harler, those guys that didn't get a chance to play in it, it would obviously mean a lot for us to go far and really be successful this tournament.
All right, thank you. And now we have a question from Ethan Bach.
Ethan Bach with Blue Gold Sports. Deuce, your first tournament game for you. You've watched March Madness growing up. Just what are you feeling right now?
Like I said, anytime you get in the W column, you feel great. But, it's a big time thing to win a tournament game. It's not easy to do. So, we can celebrate tonight, but, tomorrow comes. And like I said, we got to start prepping for another game. We're 0-0 again. It's time to become 1-0.
All right. If there are no further questions, thank you, Miles, for your time, and best of luck in the next round. We'll be joined momentarily by Coach Bob Huggins. Please use this time to raise or lower your hands as necessary. All right, there will be no opening statement from our coach, so we're going to get going with media questions. Greg Hunter, let's kick it off with you.
Greg Hunter, Blue and Gold News. So So, Bob, just overall, your thoughts? That one go as you thought? Defensively, you seem to cause a lot of problems for them in terms of turnovers, but overall, did it go about as you thought it would?
I guess I thought we could throw it close, early, and they did a good job, and we didn't do a very good job, and I was a little concerned about just trying to score all the points from the perimeter. But I think other than that, yeah, I think it did. And then we got Derek got going, and when Derek gets going, he's pretty good.
All right. Our next question comes from Charles Montgomery.
Charles Montgomery with the Daily Athenaeum. Coach, you just mentioned Derek got going in the second half. What did you say to him in the locker room? He struggled in the first half to get him going in the second half.
Well, it really was a matter of mechanics, and he was going too fast. He was excited. He was excited to play in the NCAA tournament. I think all those guys were. And I think I heard Deuce say, it got taken away from him a year ago, and they all look forward to it so much. And I just think he got going way faster than he was capable of handling. And then once he got slowed down, he scored the ball pretty well for us in there.
All right. Our next question comes from Ryan Pritt.
Hey, Ryan Pritt, Charleston Gazette Mail. Bob, you mentioned, Culver struggling a little bit early. Taz probably didn't score what he usually does, but Jalen Bridges was hitting the shots and all over the glass. Just how big was he for you tonight?
Well, Jalen's been big for us since we made the switch and started playing 4 perimeter guys. He shot it well. He stretches the defense, and when he's active, he rebounds it really well. I thought he rebounded the defensive end, and he kept some balls alive at the offensive end for us.
Our next question comes from Kevin Kinder.
Kevin Kinder with the Blue and Gold News. Coach, I know it was your plan to try to get up the line, pressure them, make them more uneasy handling the ball. How do you think that worked overall? And was this as much as you have done it in a game this year?
Kevin, I don't know. I'd have to think long and hard. We've played a lot of games. I thought we did a pretty good job. We sometimes you get back cut once, and then you want to get under the guy and make sure you don't get back cut again. But we've got to absorb that with our help. But yeah, I thought it's probably as well as we've played in pressure defense. I think we've played as well or better sometimes when we were playing a matchup. But I thought from a man-to-man standpoint, I thought that's probably as well as we've played.
Cody Nespor with the West Virginia Sports Now. Your question?
Hey, Coach, just the moment after the game when all the players came over and kind of mobbed you, for as long as you've been coaching, what do moments like that mean to you?
Well, I love those guys, and it's gratifying that they can be a part of it. They enjoy it a lot more than I do. But that's, I think that's pretty neat. I think it's, when they have something to look back on and share with whomever, hopefully it's one of the positive things that happen in their athletic career. Took them long enough, though. We took us 3 games to finally get there. But that's, that was their topic of conversation. It wasn't mine, it was theirs. Which kind of tells you what kind of guys we have. We got good guys, got really good guys.
All right. Our next question comes from Michael Kazaza.
Yeah, this is Mike Casazza from 24/7 Sports. Bob, you get the good lead in the first half, and it comes back even. Difference in the second half from building that lead and then being able to expand it and finish the way I'm sure you wanted to.
Well, we didn't create a lot of loose balls during that period, and we gave them step-in shots. it was Eric Martin's scout, and Eric and I talked to him all week about if you give them step-in shots, they're going to make it. I mean, don't think that they're not going to make open shots. And I thought they made some long shots, and I think they made some hard shots. And if you let them take all step-in shots, they're going to make probably all of them, or they probably did make all of them. But I mean, that's scouting, and and Eric did a really good job with it.
Justin Jackson, your question?
Yes, Justin Jackson with the Dominion Post in Morgantown. Coach, you kind of talked about it earlier with the switch to the 4 perimeter guys. I'm kind of wondering though, when they're making shots on the outside, it really truly works the best, doesn't it? When Derek's also contributing on the inside. I'm kind of thinking about Sunday, going up against that 2-3 zone. It's going to take more than just bombing away from the outside. Derek plays a role in that as well, doesn't he?
A big role.
Yeah.
Plays a huge role in there. They're gonna press out on all those perimeter guys if there's no fear of people scoring it close. And really, when we kind of got it going, Derek got it going. Derek scored it close, where Derek at times and should be very effective. And when he started slowing down, I think it was everybody wanted to play so well because it was the NCAA tournament, and they didn't get to do it a year ago. So, and I think Derek probably as much as anybody.
All right. Our next question comes from Greg Carey.
Greg Carey, West Virginia Metro News. Bob, could you talk about the sequence? I think you guys were up 4, and Deuce got the run out. Obviously, they went to the monitor, ruled a flagrant foul. He ends up scoring, I believe, 6 points in a span of 2 seconds. And you went up 10 from there and, kind of kept the separation on him the rest of the way.
Yeah, that was a big play. That was a big play. But I think, whether it would have ended up being 6 or 3, I think the way we played from there on was pretty good.
All right. Our next question comes from Greg Hunter.
So that was part of Deuce's performance tonight. You've seen him do a lot of good things, but just go into his night tonight. 30 points, 6 assists, no turnovers, 6 rebounds. What did you think of Deuce's play?
Deuce played great. Deuce played great. I thought he was good defensively. I thought he did a really good job defensively. Kicked a couple balls loose that got runouts for us, and we haven't had a lot of those. We haven't really pressured people to the point that we scored off our defense, and I think Deuce was a big key to that. And then obviously he made shots, and what ended up being a 6-point play was huge for us.
All right. It doesn't seem as though there are any more questions, so that will be it for this press conference. A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at www.ncaa.baritone.com. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for participating today. We will now begin with an opening statement from Coach Spradlin and then go to questions. Use the raise hand feature to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you are called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Coach, please give us a brief opening statement and then we will go to questions.
Just really proud of our team, everything that these guys have been through all year to get to the NCAA tournament, represent the state of Kentucky. I knew we fell short here today, but very good West Virginia team. We knew that coming in, and knew that we needed to take care of the ball in order to stay in the game with them. And we just kind of failed to do that with their pressure as the game went on. But I thought our guys really fought to the end. We stayed together and, stayed in the game as long as we could there. But just really proud of our team for the season that we've had.
Now we will go to questions from the media. Once again, please use the raise hand function to indicate you want to ask a question. Our first question is from Carter Hill of Fifth Quarter.
Hey, Coach, congrats on a great season again. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but for those unfamiliar with your program, what did you think you showed the nation Morehead State basketball is made of, and how well did you think you represented your university?
Well, I thought we represented our university really well, and it may not be as evident when you get on the court in a 2-hour segment there, but we've got a great group of guys. We've got a great group of young men. I think that's evident through the fact that doing what we've done this year throughout COVID, that has a lot to do with the young men that we have and the character that they carry themselves with and the backgrounds that they come from. But I hope the nation takes away that we've got a tough, gritty group. Our program is built on toughness and togetherness. And, despite the score, I thought we were still able to put that on display here tonight.
Our next question is from Mike Reeves of AP Radio.
Yeah, Coach, I didn't know if the games earlier in the day and the upsets, I know they happen every year, but how much you're aware of that? Is it something that you even talk about with the team, or am I maybe stretching for things there?
I couldn't hear your question very well. Could you mind repeating that?
No, not at all. With some of the upsets that happened earlier in the day, did you use that with your team at all? Did you guys discuss it, or is that just you don't have time for that at that time of year?
No, we obviously the guys are seeing that. They're seeing that on TV throughout the day. You play an 11-15 tip, you're going to watch every basketball game that goes on throughout the day to pass the time. So they saw all that. They saw, and obviously we were right next door here to North Texas and the Purdue game, and so we didn't really bring it up. I don't like to talk about anybody other than our program, but obviously those guys see that, and I think it adds an element of belief that, hey, we're here, and just like those guys, we can win this game. So I think it helps. It helps without question.
Our next question is from John Hale.
Hey, Preston, you all had rallied twice, and then that 9-0 run that I think took about 31 seconds in the second half. How much did that just kind of take the gas out, and what exactly do you think happened there?
I think it was turnovers again. Once we would take care of the ball, we would execute and make them take the ball out of the net and come down and go against our set half-court defense. I thought we did a really good job in the half court. It's when we couldn't take care of the ball and we allowed them to get out in transition. And then I thought in the second half too, we gave them 6 offensive rebounds, which was really a big part of it. And when you're giving up offensive rebounds or 50-50 balls and they're scoring on those are deflating plays. And we know what that's like being on the other side of it, leading our league in rebounding and second chance points. And so that kind of took the wind out of our sails right there. We got fatigued in the game here today. I thought in the first half, towards the end of the first half, we were making a lot of fatigue mistakes. But that's just our guys. They were playing really hard. And to win a game like this, you've got to play at a high level. Your effort and energy's got to be at a high level.
Our next question is from Keith Farmer.
Hey, Coach. Keith Farmer, LAX 18. Going forward, just everything that this team's learned this year, and you're so young. I mean, and even I guess James could come back if he wants to. Just thinking about moving forward, this team's gained a lot of valuable experience this year to maybe make another run next year.
Without question, it's in the back of everybody's mind, and I kept the locker room talk very short. It's late, and we want to get back to the hotel, and we'll dive more into that. But that's certainly on everybody's mind, and that we do have a lot of really good pieces and guys coming back, and so I think anytime that you've got this type of experience, winning a championship, going into the NCAA tournament, not performing quite like you wanted to, it should leave a bad taste in your mouth at the end of it to just drive your motivation going into the off season. And certainly having a lot of guys back, a lot of experience, a lot of depth is a big encouragement for what we're doing moving forward. And then you add in the confidence that you draw from being in an NCAA tournament, then that's certainly something to be excited about.
Our next question is from Harry Schroeder.
Hey, Preston, just congratulations on a great season. You guys struggled getting the ball to Janai late in that second half. It was just hard to get him the ball. But then Davon really stepped up and did some great things. And just talk about what you saw positively tonight despite the end result.
Again, I thought our half-court defense was pretty good. I thought, we lived up to our reputation of what we've done all year. It's just the fact that we couldn't keep them out of transition. And you got to give them credit. I mean, their pressure in the half-court is really good. I mean, I know they're not quite the West Virginia that they've, been touted as in the past, the full court pressure, but that half court pressure is really hard to simulate. It's hard to go against. It wears on you as the game goes on, and when you play inside out as we do, and they're pushing out all your wing catches, they're trying to blow up all your sets. It makes it difficult to get a guy like Janai the ball in his spots where he needs it. But I thought a couple guys really responded. I mean, Skylar comes up with 18 big points. Davon has 21. Those guys made shots and made plays to keep us in the game, although we couldn't, get the ball inside consistently like we wanted to do.
Yeah, and I thought Janai was terrific defensively early. When he got his third foul, it seemed like maybe that kind of took him out of the game a little bit as well.
Yeah, it made it tough, and it's a physical game. Derek Culver's a really good player. He's a little older, a little stronger at the moment. But yeah, Janai, he played well. We were able to get him the ball in a few spots there in the second half, and some, baskets that he normally finishes, they just didn't fall tonight. And so if you're going to go out, though, you want to go out playing the way that you've done. You don't want to change your identity, and we want to play inside out and make sure he gets his touches. And it goes 5 for 12, and he could very easily gone 9 for 12. He's done that a lot of times, and then we're having a different press conference right now. So.
Our next question is from Carter Hill, fifth quarter.
Yeah, Coach, just kind of a quick follow-up. Now that your season is officially in the books, how would you reflect back with all the protocols and COVID and everything? And really, when you're looking back on it 10, 20 years from now, how would you describe it?
It was a very different year. I just think our administration and everyone and staff did a great job of putting plans in place to keep our guys safe and keep them healthy. But again, all the credit goes to the student athletes. You can put all the protocols you want in place, but if those guys don't take it seriously and they don't sacrifice their social life and they don't demonstrate discipline on a consistent basis, then it's not going to work. And I just think any time that we can talk about what these guys have done in that category, that standpoint from COVID, they deserve so much credit for that. But it's been a difficult year, and I think that ultimately it's a year that everybody that played college basketball this year is going to walk away stronger from it, because you had to learn to deal with a lot of life lessons that threw you off of what you're normally used to. So 20 years from now, we're going to look back and hopefully we're not ever worrying about this type of thing again with the pandemic, but we certainly going to have to draw a lot of life experience from it.
Thank you, Coach Spradlin, for your time today. We'll be joined momentarily by Davon Cooper. Please use this time to raise or lower your hands as necessary.
Thank you.
We are now joined by Davon Cooper, and we'll begin the press conference. Please use the raise hand function to indicate you would like to ask a question. When you're called on for your question, please state your name and affiliation first. Our first question is from Carter Hill, fifth quarter.
Yeah, Davon, Carter Hill with fifth quarter. Congrats on a great season. I asked Coach this question as well, but for those unfamiliar with your program, what did you think you showed the nation Morehead State basketball is made of this evening?
I feel like we came a long way from the past years, and we made history for our school, and we showed them that we're capable of playing with the top Power 5 schools and stuff like that.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Keith Farmer.
Keith Farmer, LEX 18 in Lexington. I know it's kind of early, but just to think ahead to next season, one senior, he could even come back if he wants to. What did you all gain this year that can help you going forward?
This year I feel like we gained a lot of togetherness as a team. We're a close-knit team, and we showed that throughout the year as we played with our play. So we just going to, if he decides to come back or not, we're just going to keep that together, and we're going to carry that on to next year. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be right back here next year.
And just getting here, does that make you hungry to get back again?
Of course.
Our next question is from Harry Schroeder.
Yeah, Davon, after having to sit out last year, with the injury and all that, how satisfying was this year? You end up second team all conference and you guys win the tournament and then get to play here. How satisfying of a season has it been for you?
I mean, I wouldn't call it satisfying. Yeah, we won the overseas championship. We made it to March Madness, but I wouldn't say it was satisfying. But for me, being injured last year and coming in this year, being the healthiest I've been since I've been playing, I mean, it felt good, and I couldn't do it without my teammates and stuff. So I wouldn't say it's satisfying, but it was a great feeling, though.
Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Davon, can you just talk a little bit about your experience coming to Indianapolis, being involved in March Madness and such a unique tournament this year?
I mean, it's a great experience with me not being here before. I mean, because of COVID and stuff, we kind of was locked in our rooms and things like that. But other than that, it was a great experience for all of us, and hopefully we can come back and do it again next year.
Our next question is from Keith Farmer.
Davon, Coach was talking about the fact that, you guys should be commended for what you did, just making sure there was a season. Can you just talk about what that was like this year and why you go through that sacrifice to play the game you love?
It was hard for all of us being college students. College students, we can't go out. Especially our team, it was easier for us being in a small town, so there's not really much to do. So it was hard not being able to socialize and stuff like that, just staying within the team and things like that. And we did that. We didn't miss a game this year, and we was very disciplined. So it was hard, but we came here to play basketball, and that's what we did. So we had to make that sacrifice.
Thank you, Davon, for your time. That's it for the post-game press conference. A transcript of the coach's interview will be provided by ASAP Sports and posted along with a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.